Right, let's move on. Doing writes in and says, "Hello, Dutch. Really enjoy the show. By the late 1980s, what was the business relationship between Jerry Jarrett, Fritz von Erich, and Verne Gagne? Have a great day."
I think they all tried to get together, and this is on the WWF was trying to take over everything, and not only trying, they were succeeding, and they were running these smaller areas just completely out of business. That was the plan, is to run them out of business. And the reason that some of the training centers started was because when you ran Memphis out of business and you ran Continental out of business, or Southeastern, or Florida, and even Texas, if they didn't have a territory there, WWE all of a sudden decided, well, where's our talent going to come from? That's why they invented the training centers that you see now. But going through a training center and going through a place like Memphis or Florida as an actual wrestler and getting paid for it, see, that is hard to duplicate in just a gym. Oh, yeah, you can learn the moves, you can learn this, you can learn that, but it doesn't take the place of actual live people coming to matches. And like when I learned before I was ready, but I had to, because we had actual people sitting out there and watching me. And that's why when I would come back to the dressing room, they would all call me up and say, don't do this, don't do that, slow down. It was always slow down, because I was always in a hurry anyway to get to where I was going. Slow it down. But you can hear it over and over and over again. But when you get in the ring and when you're young and you got all this energy to burn, I would sometimes put a lot of motion in place of psychology, and sometimes it backfired. But it didn't take them long to learn that the companies, the little territories they had put out of business, was doing the training for them. And when they were gone, all of a sudden it occurred to them, wait a minute, where is this talent going to come from now? Because there's nowhere to learn. And that's why they had to start their own training centers.
With So it's Pro Wrestling USA. For people who don't know, Jerry Jarrett, Verne Gagne, Fritz von Erich teamed up together in 1984. By 1986, Pro Wrestling USA was no more. They ran, I'm trying to see, upwards of 100 events. They ran quite a lot of events, nothing too regular. Just so you know, Dutch, you were on a couple of them. You wrestled Dory Funk, you wrestled Harley Race. We watched the Harley Race match, what little of it there was. Despite it being in Memphis, Tennessee, for some reason you were, quite frankly, jobbed out to Harley in like a few minutes and don't know why. But
Yeah, I don't know why.
well, here's the thing. You were on the very first Pro Wrestling USA show ever against Dory Funk. I didn't realise that. You were also on the first UWF show where you were knocked
In
out
Japan.
in Japan.
Yeah, hey, these beginner shows for these companies, I didn't have good luck on them.
No, I know. Hey, you were in the main event. You were the first ever challenger for the UWF championship, I guess. Okay, after a couple of years, Pro Wrestling USA becomes no more.
Yeah.
And I'm looking, it was an AWA, NWA, and Memphis collusion collaboration at the beginning. Was it Memphis that pulled out first?
Well, it was falling apart anyway. See, I never knew who ran it. Jerry Jarrett didn't run it.
I think it was
Now, if Jerry
Verne.
Jarrett if he had booked it, it would have done much, much better, because the booking philosophies from Memphis to Texas, and especially Minneapolis and Minnesota, were totally different. Actually, I watched some of the Minneapolis tapes. I don't know how they drew a dime. That was the boringest wrestling show I've ever seen, to last for an extended period of time. I don't know They didn't do anything. They would just put two guys in the ring and they would have a match, and then they'd have an interview with, somebody, and it was just boring. Memphis was never boring. See, even Texas, I would put Memphis number one, then the Texas tape number two, and Minneapolis, it looked like it didn't have a booker. They had a main event, but I didn't see any way for Minnesota to draw big money, but they did. I don't know how.
Well, that's kind of what I don't understand, though, with the whole Pro Wrestling USA thing, is that it was meant to be an equal partnership between Memphis, Fritz, Verne, maybe some other people were involved here, there, and everywhere. They put Jerry Lawler over Eddie Gilbert, who Eddie Gilbert at that point was still a young boy, basically.
Yeah.
The Fabulous Ones main event that show, and they defeat the Nightmares, who's also another Memphis team. Yeah. So, there's no political issue there. But then for some reason they put you against Dory Funk and have him beat you really quickly. And you're like, there's Lawler, there's the Fabulous Ones, there's probably Dundee, there's maybe one other I've forgotten, Jimmy Hart, and you're one of the major stars of Memphis at this time, especially in '84. So why would they value Memphis so little? And basically, you were the victim of this. And Memphis Wrestling was the victim of this. I mean, did they just look down? I figure they looked down on you, or Verne did, because he was real pro wrestling.
No, Memphis was always looked down upon because it was just that little old damn promotion. Hell, they were drawing like 10,000 people a week. Because I think the South, all across the United States, is actually maybe not so much today, but used to be looked down upon as a bunch of idiots, a bunch of damn rednecks, and they didn't put a bunch of faith in the South. But Memphis was doing better than those other two companies put together, because it had better towns, it had better wrestling, and it drew better. So I asked Jerry Jarrett one time, I said, why did you see? I was over in Memphis. They put me out there against Dory Funk and Harley, and the matches went about 3 minutes. I said, hell, you could have put any job guy out there to do the same thing. Why me? Especially in Memphis, which is when I was trying to, and I got pissed off at him for that. So nothing changed, but I did get a little teed off at him. I don't know why. Eddie Gilbert didn't much care for it, but Eddie Gilbert was just starting then. See, this is '84, right?
Yeah.
See, this is after I'd already gone through the program with Dundee, and I went through the program with Lawler, and to put me in the ring and just beat me in 3 minutes made no sense.
In the Mid-South Coliseum. That's the thing that really
at the Mid-South, at the big place, and people just sat there and they went, they didn't know why either. I mean, I'd lost clean, straight up. So, and a heel beat me straight up, both of them. And Harley and Dory. I wrestled two world champions in one night and got beat by both of them. Wait a minute, I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Did you ever meet Verne?
I'm re-pissed off all over again.
Rightly, you should be. Did you ever meet Verne Gagne?
Dang it. So if Jerry was still around, I would call him up right now and say, you no good bastard. So
apparently the reason it didn't work is because you had three promoters all with their own interests and a bunch of wrestlers all with their own interests, and I think Verne wasn't paying people and he was controlling the money or whatever it was. I don't know. Have you ever met Verne, or did you ever meet Verne?
One time. I think he was down on that show. I met him one time. Okay, all your life you hear about, or back then, Verne Gagne. I mean, it's not an everyday conversation, but you knew that he was the head of the Minnesota wrestling company. But to meet him is very highly unimpressive. He's about 5'9", maybe 5'10", maybe, bald-headed, no body, no nothing. And I'm thinking, God dang, this is the guy that everybody talks about. He just, hang on one second.
Yeah, one sec.
So, and I agree with you that if they'd let Jerry Jarrett book it, I think that it would have it would have gone much better. Now, one reason I heard that I think Jerry wanted me to do that. I think he wanted to prove to them that he had talent down there that could match up with world champions. But put me in there, it didn't do me any good at all. It didn't air in Memphis, but it aired wherever their TV was.
Hey, but that's the Mid-South Coliseum. There's only 3,000 fans in attendance, which is insane in itself for 1984. But hey, those 3,000 will have all been regular Memphis viewers. So, yeah,
that's right. So, and I'm saying it didn't do me any good. And I think I left there. What year? What month was this?
What month was this when you were wrestling? I've still got the thing up. September 18th, 1984.
84.
84.
Yeah.